Hi, doggies. You like it out here, doggies? Hmm? Take the doggies for a little bit of a walk. For once, we're in a place where we don't have to worry about them being on a leash. Pretty well trained to stay with us. Alright, well, Stella's doing the Toby. Does that feel good, Stella? Scratch your butt. Saw this last night. Don't know what this is. Art installation. Beer can installation. A pole with things nailed to it. Gonna get some breakfast there, but it's a little too crowded with tourists from Europe, so I don't think they were German, I think they were French. But anyway, ooh, I'm backlit. So we'll be on our way. So here we are, Rialto, California. Here at the wigwam. Kumar and his family have done a really nice job with this. Some of the old signs. They've come in and they've done a really good job, and they've restored such a great landmark. Who wants to stay at a Motel 6 or a Super 8 or a Red Rash Inn or any of those places when you can come and sleep in a wigwam? And they're doing some remodeling work here too. It looks like some of them are open. I don't think there's anybody staying in them. In case you're wondering, the roof doesn't peak up in a wigwam, unfortunately. But it's a nice, really modern room, really comfortable, really cozy. We stayed here in 2012 and really loved it. They got a little fire pit, a pool. The weather is usually really nice here, so you can sit by the pool and relax. This is one of 2 wigwams on the route. The other is in Holbrook, Arizona. which is actually owned by the original family that originally purchased it. This one is owned by the Patel family. And as I've said, they've done a really good job.
What I've seen on Route 66 is a change in behavior of travelers. Once I used to have the people that loved talking about everything on the route, where they went, who they saw, and that happened. Now that is completely gone. It is, I need my key to my room. I've done my 7 days on the route. We're going to end. We're done. That's the new mentality. There's a few reasons why that has happened. Is because there's one man that is very powerful that has passed away, that has kind of lost the spirit of the route. Is called Gary Turner. Gary Turner is a man that owned a gas station, and it's pictured in over there. It's kind of in the corner, but you can't see it, but who cares? Anything is that he used to snag the travelers, and I still do it on my end, and I don't have the book that I sell, Images of 66, Dave Wickline's book. That book, he'd have them buy it. He'd say, make sure you stop everywhere and get people to sign it. All I tell them is grab the easy guide and make sure you stop and sign it. They still don't believe me because they're downloading stuff off the internet and they got everything, they know everything, so yak, yak, yak. They already have it planned out. It's like a cookie cutter trip, but I don't mind because that's their trip, and every trip should be different. You shouldn't tell them where to go. But the thing is, I wish that the personal touch of Route 66 will come back, but it's not, because the travelers are not wanting that anymore. They're wanting the quick happiness, the photo op. We stayed here, check in, we checked in, we did it, you know? It's okay. Why? Because that's what's keeping the route alive. That's what's keeping Route 66 open again. That's what we were looking for, the traveler again. Route 66 is back. At the end of the day, come by and visit us like we used to, and I hope everything turns good.
At the advice of the owner of Wigwam, we're making an unhealthy pit stop here on Route 66. Donut Man. World famous strawberry donuts. Thank you.
What the location was, so I can bring to other people in the future.
The Donut Man dozen.
I like it.
Yeah.
End of the route. There's a little plaque right there marking it. End of the Will Rogers Highway. End of Route 66. Route 66. All right, this makes it official. This is where we are. This is the end of the route. There's actually 4 ends of the route, but this is a marker commemorating Route 66 or the Will Rogers Highway. See, Main Street of America, Highway 66. Will Rogers Highway. At the very end of Santa Monica Boulevard, there are 4 ends, if I can remember right. There's a truncated end, I think in Pasadena, which was the end they created in the 60s. There's an official end, which intersects with the highway. I think about a mile north of here. There is this end right here, the commemorative end, and then over there at the Santa Monica Pier, it's what they call the spiritual end, which we're going to next. Video of this craziness.
Boy or girl?
It's a boy.
Yeah, he loves attention.
He's a Doberman Shepherd mix, and she's a Schipperke Pomeranian. They're both shelter dogs.
This always happens. And this is what they call the spiritual end of the route. It isn't, never really was the end. But people like to say they've gone pier to pier. And over here is the real attraction, our dogs, our silly ass dogs.
Hi, Jimmy.
Hi, Jimmy.
Hey Jimmy, all the moping you did in the car, does this make it worth it?
You made friends.
Hi, Jimmy. Jimmy.
Jimmy.
This is the scene. This is how we ended the route here on the Santa Monica Pier. And finally, here is the gift shop at the end of the route. It's Dan Rice's gift shop. You have to stop here. There's one last look at the pier. And then we're heading out, heading back.